Hey y'all, I'm going on a rant. So I'm going to talk about SC Johnson, a family company. I was telling Nigel my blood pressure goes up every time I hear that phrase because this ranks up there as one of the evil big companies that pollute us and make us sick. You may remember the whole controversy about baby powder and talc and all the women that got ovarian cancer because of exposure to talc. I know when I was a little girl in about 1960, when my dad would go on a business trip, he would like to bring us back like a little gift when he would come home, and he would often bring us like a nice little fancy powder set because it was just one of those things that was promoted as, oh, you know, girls love to do this. If you're like, you know what I mean, a pretty girl is going to do this, and you would fluff yourself with powder. Well, the baby powder, Johnson & Johnson's shower-to-shower product, all those contained talc, and they hid the evidence that this could contribute to ovarian cancer, and it wasn't until years later that it came out, and they lost so much in lawsuits when people sued them. Well, they're being sued again. And this time what they've done is their Ziploc bags that are supposed to be freezer safe, they're advertising that you can freeze things in the plastic, and they're advertising that you can even use their specially prepared bags to heat things up in the microwave. It turns out that plastic can migrate into your food, get into your tissue, and has an affinity for fat. So your brain is mostly fat. And so what's turning out is that these plastics that we get in our food, now it can come from bags like that. It can also come from, you know, when you open up a lid, you know, there's a little seal of plastic around a bottle, and you crack it open, it's serrated, and you pop, pop, pop. Well, tiny little particles of plastic get out. You have a cutting board that's plastic and you cut something on it. You're ingesting that plastic. So you want to get plastic out as much as possible. But what Johnson & Johnson did, or SC Johnson as they're known now, what they did is they advertised making people think it was safe to freeze and heat in these plastic bags. So I want to show you, because look, we live in a world where we're exposed to a ton of plastic. I buy frozen, bread because I buy good quality organic bread. I get frozen organic fruits and vegetables, and those all come in plastic. You get meat at the deli, or you get fresh meat, and it's wrapped in plastic. So we get a lot of plastic. The sooner we can transfer things when we get home out of the plastic into safe containers, the better it is for us. So I want to point out what you can do. So first of all, just get yourself some simple canning jars. These will store food in the refrigerator. They will even store foods in the freezer if you need to freeze something. I'm also a fan of these glass bowls. This happens to be Pyrex. There are other brands too. So you can store foods and even freeze foods in these containers. And then if you need to just wrap something up, you know, like a sandwich or something like that, I'm a huge fan of bees wrap. Okay, this is a lovely, like a cloth, a thin cloth that is covered in beeswax. And you can reuse it over and over again. You wash it just like you would wash a plate, hang it to dry, and you can reuse it over and over again. This doesn't transmit anything toxic into your food. So there's no way we can avoid all plastic, but you want to minimize the amount of plastic that you use, and definitely never freeze or heat anything in plastic. You know, sometimes people will take a plastic water bottle, throw it in the freezer, let it freeze, and then let it thaw over the course of the day if they're going to be out and about, and then they've got cold water to drink. That is going to leach more plastic into the material. So what you want to do is get stainless steel container or glass container. You can put ice in it with your water, and you can even put a glass container, I guess, in the freezer for a while, but not plastic. Don't let it happen with plastic.